Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Let's get into it. So today we're going to review the movie Good Boys that you seen the trailer for. Everybody had to see the trailer for, and it's basically starring child actors. Jacob Tremblay, he plays as Max. Keith L. Williams, he plays as Lucas. Brady Noon, he plays as Thor. Those are the three main characters. You also had playing Lil Rel Howery, he plays as Lucas's dad. Those are the most notable actors that was playing in it that you would more than likely recognize. So let's get into it. So this is already, you've seen from the gate, it's rated R. You've seen it was going to be a fun, entertaining movie. So this is pretty much like how Superbad was a classic. This should be like right in that space right there. And what Superbad meant to that generation, this will be to the next generation. The only difference is Superbad, the characters, they were all in high school, and senior year of high school, going through their phase. Basically, in spinning off of Superbad, if you want to keep it going, what American Pie was before Superbad. So comes along these type classic type fun films that, you know, and their era comes along and they're funny, they're fun. So, and if you want to go further back, if you want to keep it going, some would say Meatballs. Now that was a college atmosphere, but some would say that. So, you know, I could keep going, but nevertheless, Good Boys is about three young kids on their way to start middle school, and they're transitioning from elementary school to middle school. And it really gives you an insight, if you have children, on how the children of today are thinking and talking when parents aren't around. And I believe this is how they speak, because if you have some young children around that age, you can hear certain things that they say that you kind of look, I can't believe they just said that. So you can only imagine what they're saying when parents are not truly around. And so they're watching so much YouTube, TV, they're watching so much stuff, and they're really just a sponge soaking up all the energy. Now, because they're young, they don't understand certain things. So it instantly, you see from the trailer, they get to this start of school, and in the start of school, the one kid, they want to start hanging out at the cool park, skateboard park, where all the other kids hang out at. They still are on their bike, and the other kids is at the park. The other kids ask them, okay, let's be rebels, I got something to show you. They show up at a, like, in the woods or forest somewhere, and they pull out a beer. And the rule is, whoever, if you could drink past 3 shots of beer, you will beat the record. And one of the kids, he didn't even take a sip or whatever, so they called him Sippy Cup. They basically trying to say he's still a baby by not drinking a beer. So that was the character Thor. So they used that Sippy Cup all throughout the whole movie pretty much. And then from there, so you also get to experience kids, what they deal with uh, with peer pressure. You have the character Lucas, his parents are about to do a divorce. And so that could be mentally, I've seen that affect like adults that they grew up with their both parents in the household their whole life, and then the parents get a divorce. That affected the adults. So just imagine a kid. So he was going through a psychological thing with going through the divorce, because the kids start to think that maybe it's them why the parents are breaking up and stuff like that. So he was going through his thing. Plus, in the school, they had this group called Scab, and it's basically where a group of kids that were tired of seeing people get bullied. So they pretty much formed a group, and if a child is getting bullied or in danger, they all form together as a team and crowd around that child and, you know, protect them or whatever. And so and they were kind of like what quote unquote people would call like the nerdy bunch or whatever. So all three of the boys were starting to go into their own space, separate from how they all linked up when they were children in elementary school. And so you had Max, who he was starting to become hormonal. So he started, his hormones was kicking in. He wanted to get into girls. He already liked a girl, and so there's a kissing party, and that's what starts all this whole movement. And this girl he really liked, he made her something from art, and you know, the adventures start from there. And then the character Thor, he can sing real good, but when people tease him about singing, he pretty much like, I don't want to sing, you know what I mean? That's the peer pressure. So it's a good film. You know, it's a lot of different funny moments throughout the film. A lot of different funny moments. It's definitely a good watch for you want to laugh at the movie or the different stuff that they experience, that they go through, without giving you a play-by-play on every little thing that they do that's funny. You seen they show a lot in the trailer, but then when you see the movie, it's still a lot more. So that was a good thing too, that the trailers doesn't show everything. So also, the one scene I did not agree with, and this is definitely not a movie for children. No, even though it says good boys and there's 3 little kids watching it, I wouldn't advise a parent to let their child watch it, number one. I wouldn't advise a parent to go and take their kids to see that movie or whatever. So what I would say it is a good movie, but it's one scene that I didn't agree with that they shouldn't have put on there, and that's the highway scene. That highway scene is reckless, and it was trying to make it to be funny because they were trying to get to the mall, and they walked, and to get to the mall, they had to get across that big highway, and the traffic was real slow at first, but by the time they got to the middle, traffic picked up and it started flowing again, and they just darted out through the traffic and to get across. And that's when you seen on the trailer something came through the window, and it was the doll that actually came through the window. So I don't advise that. I don't advise that scene. I don't think that scene, because kids are impressionable, and kids do a lot of things mimicking things that they see on TV, and kids get in the idea that I seen it on a movie, let me try it in real life. And in real life, a lot of times it don't work like that. Kid run out through ongoing traffic like that, they get hit. And that part, even though parents are supposed to be there watching it with the kids, telling the kids not to do that, but a parent can do that, and still a parent could do that, and still the kids still do it, because kids gonna be kids. So besides that, that's the only knock I have for the movie. I really didn't think that part should have been in there. Everything else is like pretty much fun or whatever. I just think that part was a little bit extreme for that. So, but other than that, I enjoyed the movie. It was funny. Everybody in the theater that was in the theater, they pretty much were laughing throughout the movie. So it's very entertaining. And my 4-star rating system, I would give this movie a 3.5 out of 4 stars. Entertaining movie is right up there with the movies that I said before, with American Pie, Superbad, Meatballs. So it's right up there in that category. So I appreciate you listening to the review. Subscribe and like so that I can start to get in the search engine. More people get aware of this review channel. I do review a lot of content, and I'm just trying to build. Comment if you seen the movie. Comment if you have seen those other movies and agree with me that it's right in the realm with those other movies. Till next time.